Welcome to the Deep Dive, your daily download on the biggest moves in artificial intelligence. We cut through the noise, the articles, the research, the reports, to give you what really matters. Our goal today, simple. Pull out the key developments, add the context, and make sense of this incredibly fast-moving AI landscape.
Absolutely. And it's been a packed few days. We've seen major steps in AI models, how businesses are using them, some big ethical questions, new consumer tech, and of course, the global picture.
Okay, let's dive right in with the models themselves. First up, Mistral. They've just launched Medium 3. The headline here isn't just another model, is it? It's about performance matching the top tier, but potentially cheaper.
Exactly. And that's significant because, well, if really powerful AI becomes more affordable, it kind of opens the door for smaller companies, maybe researchers too. It can spread innovation beyond just the huge tech players.
Right, democratizing access in a way. And speaking of access, Anthropic just rolled out its web search API for Claude. So Claude can now browse the live web. Why is that such a big deal?
Well, it tackles a core limitation. Most models are trained on data that's already old. Giving Claude web access means it can provide up-to-date info, which is huge for things like research, news summaries, answering current questions, stuff like that.
Okay, makes sense. And Google's doing something related, integrating generative AI directly into search itself with this new AI mode. So you get AI answers, not just links. How might that change things for, well, everyone searching online?
It could be fundamental. I mean, instead of clicking through pages, you might just get the answers straight up from the AI.
Which raises questions, right,
Yeah.
about traffic to websites, their whole model maybe?
Definitely. If AI becomes the main entry point, it changes the game for content creators and websites.
Interesting. Now, Alibaba's researchers, they've taken a different route with Zero Search. They're training search assistants inside an AI simulation without live web data. What's the logic there?
It's a fascinating idea. By creating a sort of simulated web, they can train the AI's search skills in a controlled space. It might be more efficient, maybe better for privacy, and lets them simulate all sorts of scenarios for training.
Okay. Meanwhile, OpenAI is giving users more knobs to turn. New fine-tuning options for O4 Mini and GPT 4.1, including something called reinforcement fine-tuning. What does that mean practically?
Reinforcement fine-tuning, it's basically training the AI by rewarding the outputs you want. So offering this lets users really customize these powerful models for their specific niche, get better results, make the AI behave more like they intend.
More control. And ServiceNow AI, they've unveiled April Nematron 15B Thinker. That sounds like it's aimed squarely at big companies, focusing on reasoning and efficiency. What are the priorities for enterprise AI?
Yeah, for large organizations, it's a balancing act. You need smart AI, sure, but it also has to scale, be cost-effective, and crucially, fit into existing business processes smoothly. A model like this suggests the market's maturing, focusing on those specific industry needs.
Right. And then there's this research from Tsinghua University, Absolute Zero, training LLMs with zero external data. How does that even work? Can AI learn language from nothing?
It's pretty mind-bending research. It explores whether these models can learn just from their own internal structures, maybe self-generated data. It hints that the fundamental patterns of language might be learnable internally, potentially reducing the need for those massive external data sets. It really opens up some new paths for AI development.
Wow, okay. Microsoft's Artist framework is also pushing boundaries, giving LLMs more agency, letting them reason and use tools dynamically via reinforcement learning. How's that different from just answering questions?
It's a step towards AI agents, not just responding, but actively problem solving. They can reason, plan steps, use external tools like calculators or search engines. It's about making AI capable of handling more complex tasks on its own, more like an assistant.
Got it. Salesforce is also thinking enterprise with XGen Small. They're highlighting context, cost, and privacy. Why are those three so key for businesses?
Well, privacy and security are obviously huge, especially with customer data. Cost is always a factor. And understanding context accurately means the AI actually gives useful, relevant answers within that specific business environment. Get any of those wrong, and it's not very helpful.
Makes sense. Now, ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, they've launched Agent TARS. It's an open source AI agent for macOS that can visually understand web pages. What does adding Sight unlock for automation?
Being able to see the screen, understand buttons, text, images, it lets the AI interact with websites much more like a human does. It can navigate, pull data, click things based on what it sees. Making it open source is also a big plus. It encourages more people to build on it.
And bridging digital and physical, Hugging Face bought Pollen Robotics, their plan. Open source the Ricci 2 robot design. Why open source a robot?
It's about lowering the barrier to entry, just like with open source software. If researchers, students, hobbyists can access and build on good robot designs, it could really speed up progress in robotics, make it
Yeah.
more collaborative.
Interesting. There's also this ongoing debate. Sparse models like Mixtral 8x7b versus dense ones like Lame 2. Some are saying sparse might actually be better in the real world. Why would less be more here?
So sparse models, often using this mixture of experts technique, only activate the relevant parts of the AI for a given task. This can make them way more efficient, faster, and potentially better at handling diverse real-world data compared to dense models where everything is engaged all the time.
Okay, efficiency is key. And one more on the model front. AC Step. It's a one-click text-to-music model that runs locally on your own machine. What's the impact for creators?
It basically puts AI music generation in everyone's hands. You don't need powerful cloud servers or deep tech skills to just experiment and create music with AI. It's democratization again, but for music creation.
All right, let's shift gears to the business side. Jozu just raised $4 million in seed funding for enterprise AI orchestration tools. What does the rise of orchestration tell us?
It tells us companies are moving past just trying out individual AI tools. They're starting to deploy and manage multiple AI systems across their operations. Orchestration tools help manage all that, connect the dots, make it run smoothly at scale.
So it's getting more integrated. And Finch AI launched their trusted AI solutions on the AWS marketplace. What's the benefit for businesses, especially maybe government clients, using a marketplace like AWS?
Yeah, using a major platform like AWS makes buying and deploying AI much simpler for organizations. Plus, there's a layer of trust and security that comes with it, which is really important for government agencies or industries with lots of regulations.
Okay. Now, Ramp, the finance company, put out some data. It shows OpenAI subscriptions booming among U.S. businesses, while Google AI subs are apparently down. Any thoughts on why that shift might be happening?
Well, it's just one data point, but it could suggest businesses are currently finding OpenAI's tools maybe more effective or easier to integrate, or perhaps just more suited to a wider range of tasks right now. It definitely shows how competitive that enterprise AI space is.
It certainly is. On a more serious note, CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity company, is cutting some jobs and citing AI efficiency as a factor. What are the wider implications here for jobs?
This is a concrete example of what people have been talking about. AI automation can change staffing needs. While AI might create new roles, it can also take over existing tasks. It points to a potential need for workforce restructuring, retraining, adapting skills across tech, and maybe beyond.
Yeah, definitely something to watch. There's also a survey out showing that while companies are adopting AI faster than ever, many are struggling to actually see a clear return on investment. Why is the ROI proving elusive?
Look, just plugging in AI isn't enough. Getting real value requires deep integration into business processes, setting clear goals for what the AI should achieve, and really targeting specific problems where AI gives a real edge. It seems many companies are still figuring out that strategic piece.
Right, it's more than just the tech. IBM and Oracle are teaming up, bringing Watson X agentic AI onto Oracle's cloud. They're talking about tools for autonomous AI workflows. Why the big push for agentic AI in business?
The focus from major players like IBM and Oracle really highlights the demand for AI that can do more on its own, automate complex sequences of tasks, make decisions, operate with less human hand-holding. The potential payoff is huge gains in efficiency and productivity.
And looking at professional services like consulting, experts see AI transforming things in maybe 13 key ways. What's the fundamental change expected there?
AI looks set to really augment what consultants and professionals do, automating research, crunching huge data sets way faster, providing initial insights. This could free people up for more strategic thinking, complex problem solving, and maybe lead to totally new kinds of services.
Interesting. There's also Alembic using AI to track customer journeys to figure out marketing ROI, kind of like contact tracing, they say. What's novel about that?
Applying AI to map those really complex paths customers take before they buy something gives a much deeper understanding of what's actually working in marketing compared to older methods. It could lead to smarter campaigns, better spending, higher ROI, basically.
Makes sense. And businesses seem to be using AI for two main things: cognitive download, offloading routine stuff, and cognitive upgrade, helping teams learn new skills. How do those strategies work together?
They're complementary, really. You use AI to handle the repetitive, time-consuming tasks that's the download. This frees up your human employees for more complex, valuable work. And then you can also use AI tools to help those employees learn more, become more capable, That's the upgrade. It's about making the whole operation smarter.
Okay, let's switch to consumer applications. Google's putting AI directly into Chrome on your device to spot scams in real time. How does that offer better protection?
By analyzing website behavior and content right there on your computer or phone, the AI can spot scam patterns much faster, potentially warning you before you click something dangerous or give away info. Doing it on device is also good for privacy and speed.
Privacy is a good segue. Meta is reportedly considering adding facial recognition to its Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. Given the history, what are the big concerns there?
Oh yeah, that immediately brings up major privacy flags. Constant facial recognition by wearable cameras raises huge questions about surveillance, how that data might be used or misused, and just the general erosion of anonymity in public spaces. It's a very sensitive area.
Definitely. Apple's also making moves investing heavily in AI chips, and there are whispers about AI-powered search ambitions. Could Apple actually challenge Google's search dominance with AI?
It's possible. Apple has that tight hardware-software integration, a massive user base, and a strong brand around privacy. If they can leverage their AI advances to offer a really compelling, maybe more private search experience, they could certainly make a dent in Google's lead. It's a space to watch.
Absolutely. For anyone playing with AI image generators, the names to watch for 2025 apparently include Gemini, ChatGPT, and Midjourney. What's the takeaway from that continued progress?
It just shows how rapidly these creative AI tools are improving. They're getting more powerful, more sophisticated, making it easier for anyone to generate really high-quality images. It's constantly opening new doors for artists, designers, everyone, really.
And the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, again, apparently some people are finding them useful for biking. How could smart glasses help cyclists?
Well, you could get hands-free navigation projected in your view, see your speed or heart rate, maybe take calls or record video without taking your hands off the bars. It's about convenience and potentially safety.
Interesting use case. Now, SoundCloud updated its terms about using user music for AI training. They say they aren't doing it now, but haven't ruled it out. What does that careful wording suggest?
It reflects just how tricky the whole area of AI training data and copyright is right now. Companies are treading very carefully. They see the potential of AI, but they also have to respect creators' rights and navigate the uncertain legal landscape. So they're keeping their options open, it seems.
Yeah, it's complex. And here's a twist. Klarna, a company known for using AI heavily in customer service, is now hiring more human agents. They cited lower quality from the AI in some cases. What does that tell us?
It's a great reality check, isn't it? It shows that while AI can handle simple queries or large volumes, humans are still often needed for empathy, understanding complex situations, and providing that truly satisfying resolution when things get tricky. AI isn't always the complete answer, at least not yet.
Right, the human touch still matters. And one last bit of consumer tech, a new AI translation system for headphones that can clone multiple voices in real time. What could that mean for communication?
That sounds pretty sci-fi. Real-time translation that even preserves different speakers' voices could dramatically lower language barriers. Imagine smoother, more natural conversations between people speaking different languages. It can be huge for travel, business, international collaboration, really connecting people.
Okay, let's zoom out to the global picture. There's talk of an AI stack war heating up US, China, India. What exactly are they competing over in this stack?
The stack is everything, really. It's the
Okay.
foundational hardware, the advanced chips. It's the cloud infrastructure to run the AI. It's the AI models themselves, both proprietary and open source. And it's the human talent, the researchers and engineers. Whichever nations lead across these layers will likely have the biggest influence on AI's future.
And US tech companies, Microsoft, AMD, OpenAI, are reportedly pushing the US government to ease AI export rules, specifically to compete better with China. What's their argument?
Their concern seems to be that overly strict export controls might actually hold back U.S. innovation and inadvertently give China an edge in the global AI race. They're likely arguing for a balance, protect national security, yes, but don't stifle the development and competitiveness of the U.S. AI industry.
It's a tricky balance. Meanwhile, DeepSeek, a Chinese AI firm, is making waves with open source models, challenging that old idea that Silicon Valley controls all AI innovation. What's the significance of China's open source movement?
It shows that top-tier AI development isn't confined to one region anymore. A strong open-source community in China accelerates global progress, fosters collaboration, and means the world isn't solely reliant on proprietary tech from the U.S. It diversifies the landscape.
Right. And this brings us back to Apple versus Google, the potential fight over the $150 billion AI search market. Could Apple, with its AI push, finally disrupt Google's long reign in search?
It's probably the biggest potential disruption search has faced in years. AI fundamentally changes what search can be. Apple has the resources, the user loyalty, the privacy angle, and now increasing AI muscle. If they get it right, they can definitely pose a serious challenge to Google's dominance.
Okay, so wrapping up today's deep dive, a few things really stand out. The pace of innovation is just relentless, isn't it?
Absolutely relentless. And AI isn't just lab experiments anymore. It's weaving into everyday tools, business operations.
And that global competition, the geopolitics of AI,
Yeah.
that's only getting more intense.
For sure. It underlines why staying informed and thinking critically about all these developments is just so important right now. AI is reshaping things incredibly quickly.
Exactly. Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener. We've covered a huge amount today: new models, business impacts, ethical debates, global rivalries. If you had to pick just one development, one trend from all this recent news, what do you think will ultimately have the most profound, the most lasting impact on our future? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.